We like to think of Bamanim Anishinaabe, which means care for the people, as sort of the umbrella for the whole restorative justice program. That would include the adult programming, which is the wellness courts, and also our juvenile programming. It's kind of the umbrella for everything.
The Mino Bimadazi win is living the good life. It's a code of conduct, a way of living for many, many good years. And there's a long list of things that for countless generations worked on how to live a long, long, good life.
People are seeing that people can be in recovery, even young people, to be examples, to show that, you know, if you get some hope, if you get some healing, that you can go on and do some pretty amazing things.
When me and my sister were younger, our father left us, which was really hard on our family. I had responsibilities that I didn't need for my age, and it put a lot of stress on me, and I was always harming myself and others. A lot of smoking, a lot of drinking.
I held a lot of resentment at my mother, my father. These hurts, these shames, these abandonment issues were subtle hurts that just never really went away, and drinking helped remove that or alleviate those hurts and pains.
Alcohol has been a huge problem for us. I'd say over 80% of our call volume, you know, involves people that are under the influence.
07-11-22 to Kenny.
We saw many people going back through the system over and over again. And because Minnesota is a Public Law 280 state, the band had not enacted its own criminal codes yet. And so really we had tribal members not being satisfied with the outcomes that were happening in state court, but not really having any hand in changing that.
May of 2008, I was pulled over for my second DWI within a 24-month time frame, and was incarcerated. And at that time, I was at 3 liters of hard liquor a day.
All rise.
The Healing to Wellness Court is the first joint jurisdiction court in the nation where a tribal court and a state court entered into a joint powers agreement and agreed to exercise jurisdiction simultaneously.
I knew I was not well. I knew that I needed help, but was very reluctant to do so, and literally said to myself, what is it going to take?
You have good people with a chemical addiction. Emotionally, they're pretty down there. A lot of chaos in their life, no direction, no structure. And that's what I see the wellness court gives them.
When I signed on the dotted line, that gave them permission to be at my door at any time to make certain I wasn't using.
It's a very intense treatment-oriented program where offenders who have been charged with either drug offenses or DWI offenses will be able to come to court and go through treatment and very intense supervision. In fact, every time she uses, I mean, it's, you know, she's getting close to death there. And maybe just that caution that we're really watching this closely and we're concerned about her.
For the most part, it was a lot of encouragement. And that's so very much needed.
Tom's why we do what we do. Tom has gone from being someone that was basically a hermit. I mean, he would stay home in isolation and drink.
I don't have to drink. I don't have to be alarmed that, hey, there's a cop at my door. Hey, I'm clean, I'm sober. Come on in, have a cup of coffee. It felt good.
Substance abuse is a major challenge for the community, adult and juvenile, and of course when there's a community with a large percentage of adults struggling with chemical dependency issues, it stands to reason you'll also have a significant number of juveniles struggling with those same issues.
I was going down a bad path in my life, and I got involved with the the court systems.
The sooner you can provide services for at-risk youth, the better off they're going to be in the long run.
If you want to explain a little bit what brought you here, we can begin.
When I first got into the program, nobody thought that I could be sober, and they helped me and they believed in me and they kept me going. And I don't think I would have been able to do it if it wasn't for their support.
You know what Giwashkwabi means? Have you ever heard that term, Giwashkwabi? You know what it kind of means today? It means drunk. If the community standard is such that this behavior is modeled from one person to the next, one generation to the next, how do you know it's an undesirable characteristic if your peers and people around you are all practicing that characteristic? Giwashkwabi. You're walking around like you got bonked on the head. And if you don't understand that it may be an undesirable characteristic, why would you even consider changing it? That's what Giwashkwabi means. The majority of our bomb-and-in re-entry juveniles come through county probation. Coming from the Bear Clan and being a young man, you have a responsibility to yourself to take care of yourself starting now. There's enough people that are going to kick them when they're down. But we want to instill that they have value and worth. It doesn't cost us anything to care for them. The bomb-and-in.
The Bomb-and-In program is a very forward-thinking program, very restorative. Along with the early intervention is the overall philosophy of providing holistic wraparound services put together by a dedicated staff of Bomb-and-In team members.
So what we're doing is before we eat, we always take this time to make a little offering, make a little plate of food. Because what we're doing is not only before we eat, but we're also going to feed the spirits and recognize those spirits, the good ones, the good spirits from our ancestors, from our relatives, from our friends and family.
Those that partake in these activities, morals and values are being passed from one person to the next.
Growing up, we never practiced our culture, but now to me it's opened my eyes to all the beauty in nature and the beauty in our people. It feels like you're finally doing something right when you practice the teachings and listen to what the elders have to say.
Do you have an Indian name?
No.
Do you dance, sing, powwows?
I used to dance
You used to dance?
when I was like 8.
Grass dancer, I bet.
I think it's an excellent program. Being in the law enforcement field, you tend to be a little bit cynical at times, and it's pretty interesting to be a part of the process, to be able to see what happens, after the arrest, and be a part of the rehabilitation stage rather than just the punitive.
The clients that I've represented through the program have shown just incredible progress. Certain clients have made turnarounds that I wouldn't have ever thought possible years ago.
I see a recovery community that's starting, and that was really always my hope, that, we started with just a couple of people, but then they sort of connected, and then there's more people that they can connect with in the community and outside that are not using. And so as that builds, you get more and more people that aren't using, and so that recovery community really starts to grow.
I made a decision to become a counselor, to help those that want to enter into recovery, and maybe those that don't.
I'm like a new person now, and I feel amazing. Like, I'm happy on the inside, and I don't know how to explain it.